All right. Answers by Guess. What up there, Guess?
What's up? How we doing?
Good friend. How are you?
Let me tell you a little story about my life.
I am ready.
It's a little over a week ago to the day. Started feeling a little pain in my Achilles. That's weird. Night goes on, day goes on, night goes on. About Sunday, I'm just about immobile. Can barely walk.
You were mentioning that on the show.
Yeah, shake it off, hustle it out, dust it down. Tuesday night rolls around, start to get a sore throat. Real bad sore throat. Everything hurt going down. Wake up Wednesday, go to work. All of a sudden, I start feeling warm at work. I had to go home early. Then I had to take the day off. Then I went to urgent care, got tested for everything outside of 10th grade chemistry. Negative on everything. So, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday roll around. Starting to feel a little better. All of a sudden, I'm sitting on the couch. My eyes are burning.
What the hell's going on with you?
I go in the bathroom. I look at my eyes. They're beet red. There's pus coming out. Like
Holy
it's
crap.
like it's prom night. I don't know what's going on. I'm suffering from the OLD, my friend. Suffering.
They couldn't figure out what the heck was going on with you?
No, said it was, just a cold. But, it's like 10 minutes. I wasn't even 10 minutes down the road. The doctor's office, right about 10 minutes down the road, is a Taco Bell. I was hungry. Stopped at Taco Bell. I'm waiting in the drive-thru. My sore throat's gone. I'm like, well, that's weird. I just wasted $25 on a copay. So I eat my Taco Bell. I get home. I'm feeling a little better. I mean, actually, like the sore throat and weird, like on and off fever sort of went away. And then I started to just feel like sick in my nose and like blowing my nose and stuff. And like that was starting to subside a little. And then now this is going on in my eyes. I don't know what's going on. It looks like I've been having all night banger with a bunch of friends.
Oh,
but
miss those days.
It is what it is. So I'm powering through the things I do for ABG.
Appreciate you, brother. We sure do, man.
It's crazy, cause I have to wink because a film covers my eyes and everything gets blurry. Where am I? So if you see me space out for a second, it's because I forgot what I was doing.
Oh, jeez. I hope you feel better, man.
Oh my god, it's freaking nuts. All right, let's go.
All right. Remember, guys, always like us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Patreon. Always look for those hashtags, Answers by Guess, at ABGFF. Remember that we are Fantasy Football's inside scoop from outside the box. Bye weeks. Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Rams, Minnesota Vikings, and the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of fantasy relevant players. A lot. Do you want to go over the Thursday game, sir?
Brought to you by Bose.
Oh.
Yeah. I had a nice little, everybody did, nice little sip of Chianti that night.
Smacking the lips.
Yeah, he almost scored twice. He looked okay. Not bad. I think I was having a conversation with Chadzinski via PMs. He's a Patreon subscriber. And I was like, he was talking trades. I don't want nothing to do with Connor. If Arizona's smart, they're going to keep using Eno and Chianti like they did. Forget about Williams. Forget about Connor. Just go with these two younger dudes, young guys, second year and a rookie, and just see what you got with those two. Because it was a nice little combo between them. The way they were using them both at the same time sometimes and swapping drives and, about 70-30 split, 75-25 in that range. It was nice to see. And DeAndre swallowed it all up. That first play, Rondale caught the broken play pass. I was like, oh boy, I should have started Rondale. He didn't catch anything else. Dropped that touchdown. It was all DeAndre. And then, it made Kyler better. I think if they didn't get those 2 pick sixes, New Orleans probably wins the game.
I said the same thing.
But, they won. The offense looked better. Like I said, Thursday night football, after the 2 poop shows that they'd had the past couple weeks, the NFL wanted points, and points they got. So it was a good game. It was a good game. And I think Arizona's offense going forward, if they keep those 2 running backs, has some sign of life. But it's really just those 2 running backs, Kyler and Deontay.
All right. Let's jump into the first game here. Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Browns got beat up by the Patriots last week. The running game really wasn't there. Amari Cooper did have a touchdown. Oh, did I spell something wrong?
No, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, man, it looks like I was hanging out with Cheech and Chong, or I haven't slept in days, or somebody punched me in the nose. It's one of the 3 or all of them. It could have been a good night.
I hope it was a good night. All right.
Awesome.
Cleveland, like I said, the running game wasn't there. Brissett didn't look the greatest. I don't know. The Patriots just had their number, it seemed like. You had mentioned that, Belichick has schemes and so on and so forth. Going against this Baltimore Ravens defense has kind of been fluky. Who are we starting from the Browns? And on the flip side, Baltimore, again, lost it in the second half to a Giants team that's, I don't know. I still can't figure out what the heck the Giants are. J.K. Dobbins now 4 to 6 weeks out. Kenyon Drake was the guy last week. Gus Edwards could be activated now. Justice Hill is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Deshaun Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Are you just playing Lamar and Andrews?
Oh, Andrews is banged up. They don't even know if he's going to play. So I'm telling you, if they use Kenyon Drake, I mean, he only got 10 carries. He just murdered it with those 10. But if they use him as the lead guy, I've been talking about Kenyon Drake for 2 years. I mean, feel like we opened up the season at one of the shows where I was like, oh, there goes Drake. Got me in my feelings or whatever. Poor attempt at comedy, but it is what it is.
I thought it was fantastic.
But, like, he could be, if they stick with him, I'm playing Drake this week if I got him, because the Browns can't stop the run. And Drake should be able to run all over them. Lamar should be able to get some rushing yards as well. If Andrews is at all banged up and doesn't play, they're going to have to lean on the run more. Now here's the caveat, the danger, the cuidado. Cuidado. I was thinking ciudad, that's city. Cuidado. I said stay away from all Baltimore running backs. And I can't endorse something I said to stay away from, but you can run all over Cleveland. If they stick to Drake, that would be a good thing. However, as you mentioned, Justice Hill coming back. Edwards could be back. That's going to muddy things a little bit. Dobbins being out of the picture is a good thing. So we'll see. But Drake is in a smash spot for sure. Bateman, I'd be worried about using him. I own him in 2 leagues. I'm not using him because he disappears, he shows up, and then he's gone. And it's either because he got hurt or they just aren't throwing to him anymore. And it's just, I just want him to get healthy and make it through a game and be productive all 4 quarters. I don't trust it. Duvernay's been doing fine. It's Andrews, you got to play if he plays. Drake if you need help. Lamar. Now for Cleveland, I have a sinking feeling. I think Kareem Hunt, he's been down. I mean, last week was a down week. And, the Ravens defense, they, as the name, are the big name. We talk about it a lot. But they've had a few pretty good spots here and there. Defensive, performances. And I think that Cleveland will be smart to get Kareem Hunt going in this one because Chubb's going to have a tough time, I think. He'll do fine. You got to start Chubb. But I just think that, they're going to have to pass a little bit more often in this one. And that's where Hunt comes into play more than Chubb. And Joku, you can go with your Cooper. I'm not playing DPJ in this one. This one should be a good one. Division games always are.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting game. I'm kind of hesitant about playing Baltimore defense, to be honest with you. Cleveland getting beat up the way they did. I agree with you. I think it's going to be more of a Hunt game. And Joku's been great. Man. Definitely, again, production from the tight end, anything above 6 points is a win.
Yeah, Taysom Hill got you that.
You know what? I actually started Taysom Hill in a league, so I
10
appreciate
points
the
or
help and
so.
advice.
So.
And it's a higher scoring league. I think I got like 17 or something like that, so
Nice.
not too bad. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Tampa Bay Bucks at the Carolina Panthers. Tampa Bay lost to the Steelers last week. That was a little shocking to me. You had mentioned that you don't know how they would do, and obviously the Steelers had gotten beat up the week before and stuff like that. Godwin was the guy. Mike Evans took the back seat. Fournette seems to still be the consistent, I guess. Cameron Brate hurt again, so does Otten get some more love? Who can we start from Tampa Bay? On the flip side, obviously the big news, CMC going to the 49ers. Question of the week, Donta Foreman, Chubba Hubbard. Yeah, I think that Hubbard. Chubba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard. There it is. That's obviously a big question mark, but how does that affect everybody else on this team? Where is CMC's shares going to actually be going?
Wow. Those two have split. Well, first off, this game should be where we make up all the time where I was going on a rant, because this one's easy. But those two have been pretty much 50-50. It's interesting, like, if McCaffrey took 10 plays off, Chuba was getting 5, Foreman was getting 5. You could look at their stats. It's like damn near identical. This one, because I think that you have to fire up your Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to take out 6 weeks of frustration on their division foe. Brady's frustrated. The team's frustrated. Last week frustrated them. 6 weeks have been frustrating. I think they take it out, no mercy, and just destroy this Carolina team. I have no clue what the line is. I'd imagine it's got to be somewhere near 12. Maybe you could look that up. Yeah. That's what I would estimate it at. I could see them winning by 20 in this one. The Panthers are, the coach is gone. The players are leaving. Like, what are they playing for? They're playing for a job next year. For who? The coach isn't going to be the coach next year. It's just like a lost cause. As far as the two running backs go, because they're going to be behind, I give the edge to Chuba in this game. But you're not playing him. You're not playing. PJ Walker's your quarterback. DJ Moore's been getting a ton of targets. Hasn't been doing much with them. Drops 30% of them. If you must, you can try any of those 3 guys. Other than that, you just got to stay away. And the Bucks fire them up. It's going to be an Evans week. But you fire up Godwin, you fire up Otten, you fire up Fournette. That's about it. Nobody should be playing Julio Jones or Russell Gage or Rashad Perriman. Rashad White, maybe, if they get up by 20 plus, they just sit Fournette down and let him run out the rest of the game. So that could be a sneaky play. I'm considering playing him myself. I'm going back and forth between a few guys. So that's about it. I think Tampa Bay is going to slaughter them and take out a lot of aggression.
What's the line? 13. Good call. Atlanta Falcons at the Cincinnati Bengals. Atlanta surprise win against the 49ers last week. Mariota didn't look half bad. I actually have to start Mariota this week. Not too thrilled about it, to be honest with you. Still kind of debating if maybe I should go back to free agents and kind of figure out what's going on here. But I don't know. It was pretty much Mariota, but he threw the ball and he ran the ball.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Am I comfortable starting an Algier or Huntley or something like that to try to kind of combat, and hopefully they could play good against the Cincinnati Bengals? On the flip side, Bengals, close game against the Saints last week. You called Chase. Chase had a good game. T. Higgins is coming back healthy again. Hurst is now healthy again. Where is the love going to go? Is it just going to be spread all around? Who are we comfortable starting from the Bengals side?
Well, Chase is a little banged up. Chase had his week. He's been sort of building up to it as well, past couple. Like you said, we called that one last week. I could see Higgins. I could see them all in this one, even Boyd and Hurst. The Falcons have been surprisingly good on defense. A lot of that has to do, I think, with their offense. They want to run, 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 run. They do run, run. But the problem with them doing that and the way that they do it, especially a couple weeks from now, is not good for fantasy. I have found myself over the past couple days dropping Mr. Algier. And it's not anything to do with him. I mean, he hasn't looked amazing, but he's looked, okay. The problem is Huntley is splitting carries with him. They're working in, was it Avery Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Cordero Patterson's coming back in a couple weeks. The other Williams is coming back next week or the week after as well. They're going to use them all. There's 5 running backs. There's 3 right now. The other 2 are, were number 1 and 2 on the depth chart. So they're going to have a role, especially Patterson. And it's just, for me, Algier at this point, if you have to pick somebody else up, he's okay to cut. And because, their game plan is running, I guess for this game, if you have to use him, if there's nothing else out there, okay. But you got to worry about Huntley. You got to worry about Mariota. You got to worry about Avery Williams. And I do think that the Bengals, although the Falcons have scored or played pretty well defense, I do think that their offense really gets it going in this one at home against the Falcons. I think that Burrow is really starting to heat up. I think that they let loose in this, which is good for you, Rob, because you have to play Mariota, and I think that becomes a volume type play. Much like Jimmy G, I think is going to be a great volume play this week going against Kansas City. So I do think the Bengals score quite often. I want my hands on all the Bengals I can put in my lineup. If I have a toss-up, I'll throw Boyd in. You shouldn't really be tossing up with Higgins at this point. Chase, of course not. Mixon, of course not. Hurst, there's probably a better option out there, like maybe a Dolchich or even an Otten or Bellinger. But Hurst has been, he's been okay. And for the Falcons, Pitts got his touchdown last week. Listen, they're going to need him. I think Drake London resurfaces in this one because I think it's going to be a volume game. I think they're going to have to abandon, so to speak, the run to play catch up, which they haven't had to do. They didn't have to do it last week against the Niners. They controlled that game. But Zacchaeus still had some yards and receptions. So did London. And Pitts had his touchdown with a little bit of yards. I think all of that production gets just about doubled in this one because I do think that they're playing catch up. And I think it's a little bit easier to throw on the Bengals than it is to run on them. And that wasn't the case a few weeks ago.
I like it, man. From your lips to God's ears, I need Mariota to do well tomorrow. So fingers crossed. This game's an interesting one for me, man. Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit coming off their bye week. Swift is back. St. Brown, another week healthier. Goff has tons of targets, but the other guys, the ancillary guys, your Reynolds and both Reynolds, if I'm not mistaken, are banged up and stuff like that. I think even Josh Reynolds is out, if I'm not mistaken. Who are we starting from this Detroit Lions? Are we comfortable starting Swift? Are we comfortable starting Williams, Hawkinson, so on and so forth? On the flip side, Dak coming back, I think that changes the whole dynamic of this team. Don't get me wrong, Cooper Rush played really well. He was able to move. Last week was a little bit tougher with the interception and so on, but they did come back in that game. How does the gears shift now that Dak is your quarterback? Do we see more Schultz? Do we see more Gallup compared to Zeke getting a lot of the ball? And as Pollard's, I guess, value going up as well?
I'm pessimistically nervous that Dak makes this team worse offensively.
Whoa. Hot take.
Is it even though?
No,
I don't
it's
even know if it's a hot take because I mean I feel like they weren't playing very well, and if you go back to last year or whatever the year was where they started off terrible, and then Dak got hurt. Was that last year or the year before? I think it was
I think it
last
was the year
year.
before, if I'm not mistaken. But
And then all of a sudden they started playing just a little bit better. I felt like, but I don't know. It's weird. I think the big bump is going to be Gallup. You know, he likes Gallup. Gallup's healthy now, and he's going to get the big bump. So he's a toss-up guy. I mentioned Boyd before. If it's between Gallup and Boyd, I'll play Gallup because it's against the Lions, and they're a little bit softer on defense. CD you're playing. Zeke should be able to run on these guys. Pollard's tough for me because the only way I think Pollard really gets involved is if Dallas has a comfortable lead or if the Lions are winning and Zach can't penetrate their defense. Or Zeke. Did I say Zach? Zeke. Well, you know what I meant.
I did.
It makes me nervous. Pollard had like the one run this year, and that's about it. Not too much else. The one run for a touchdown to 75 yards or whatever it was. And I don't like it because I'm playing Pollard in one league, but I just, it's such an easy matchup. You have to put him in because all he's got to do is break through and he can bust it. He's the one player that makes me nervous in this, that if I had another solid option, I might play them over Pollard. As far as the Lions go, and Schultz is hurt. I don't understand. He's all of a sudden off the injury list, though. But he's banged up. And I don't know. Take your chances with him. But he's hurt. I don't understand how he's off the list now. He was supposed to be out for a few weeks. I'm not trusting it. I think they have a rookie tight end, too, if I'm not mistaken, who was okay last week. Anyways, the Lions, yeah, Amon Ra, put him in. Swift, put him in. Chark's done. I think his career's over. Josh Reynolds is hurt. Hawkinson, because the Cowboys struggle against the tight end. I mean, they're going to have to get quick passes. Jared Goff stinks on the road. It is in the dome, so that levels it out a little bit. But he's going to get killed. He's going to get killed by Parsons and Lawrence coming after him. He's got to get the ball out quick. And that's the one thing that makes me nervous in this game for people playing Amon Ra and Swift and Hawkinson is if he can't get the ball out quick, which he can, but if he can't, they're all going to struggle. I mean, this game could be. I would not touch this game if I was a gambler. It could be 45-3 Dallas. It could be 26-23. Either team, as far as I'm concerned, because the Lions have been in every game for the most part, except for when they went to New England.
Yeah.
So I would not touch this game from a betting standpoint. For the Lions, you play your top two, Hawkinson if you have to, Jamal, I guess, because if they're from behind or if Swift gets banged up again, sure. But I'm not touching a Reynolds, either one of them, in this one. In Dallas, I'd be a little worried about Pollard. But I don't feel like I should be, but I would be, but I am.
I think you're right on Gallup, and I feel like you're right. Schultz is banged up, but Dak, that's his comfort. That's his blanket right there almost, That was what I think Cooper Rush was missing, was having that. He was using Ferguson more where Dak will use Schultz.
Right. But you got to remember, too, Schultz really stepped up when Gallup went down. Mm-hmm. Dak loves Gallup. Dak loves Gallup. Gallup went down, and all of a sudden the two tight ends were getting used all the time. It was Jarwin, and if you played Jarwin, it was Schultz. And if you played Schultz, it was Jarwin. And that was because Gallup was gone. Gallup's his dude. And I think he's one of the sneakiest plays, especially if you're doing DFS this week.
I like it. All right, guys. Remember, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, go on TikTok, look for us on Twitter, and subscribe to Patreon. Look for those hashtags, answers by guests at ABGFF. We'll be back with the next games. See you soon.
See ya.